you're on bodybuilding.com looking at all the videos and like, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? And you just do everything at once. Nothing's wrong with this. I'm basing this person off of who I was. If you want to try out everything at once, do it. I didn't necessarily need to do all the volume when I was first starting out that I was really doing, because when you're just starting out, you don't need a ton of different things to improve and to see results. There's kind of another spectrum. So you can be too, I want to do everything. Okay, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to be wicked sore and then I won't be able to train for another week, beginner. And then there's this is the research, this is what's optimal, this is what I have to do. And you kind of have to find like in the middle towards the evidence. Kind of be easy with yourself when you're looking at the data and what is considered optimal, but also what you enjoy and what you want to do and what's going to get you there in the first place. I think the whole of it is to just enjoy what you're doing at first and then progress as you just keep going and you kind of learn your stuff more. And then once you do kind of find a little split or routine that you like to do, then kind of look into the research and the evidence and say, okay, maybe 3 sets is good for me right now. And then as I get more advanced, maybe 5 sets is more ideal with like some back off sets or whatever. You want to be smart with your training, but you also want to enjoy it every single day. Because if you don't, you're not going to go back. You're not going to want to train. And so finding that passion for your training will keep you in there for the long term. And I really preach the whole sustainability and fitness and being a competitor, even the sustainable habits that you will have with your nutrition and with your training. It's the most important thing, in my opinion. When you're starting out, don't be afraid that you're doing something wrong. We've all been there. I used to make sure that I had bodybuilding.com tutorials literally on my phone in college to reference to when I was in my gym, because I was scared people would look at me thinking, oh my God, she's doing lateral raises and she's not bending her elbow, or just like the stupidest stuff. And I want to say that probably you're doing things better than the person next to you. Everybody's worried about themselves sometimes, and you really have to take a step back and be like, no one cares. It's funny too, because even now sometimes I'm kind of looking around the gym and I'm like, oh my God, like I wish people would just go away sometimes, like just leave me alone. And then I'm like, I'm a bikini pro and I'm worried about other people. It's like anything, everyone's worried about themselves. So if I can say anything, it's just kind of stay in your zone, put your head down, put your headphones in, and really just get to work and really do things that you find enjoyable. I'm so short, I'm 5'2", and so it's kind of been a struggle with me for certain movements on machines, and I really have to take the time to adjust things. And if you're watching this and you're short also, or you're just really tall maybe, definitely like don't feel bad if it takes you like a good 5 minutes to get the machine, like all the pads in place and like playing around with tilting forward or to the side or whatever, because that's like what you have to do in order to make it fit your body. Thinking of how I was on the hamstring curl a few days ago, and it took me like 5 minutes to really get set up and feel the movement correctly. So yeah, don't feel bad if it takes you a while to get set up. I would also really just care about when I was doing like hip thrusts or like with the rope attachment, those, what are they called, pull throughs. I would care way too much. It literally looks like you're just thrusting in midair and people are everywhere. So you really, once you get to that point and you just don't care, that's when you've really made it. A mistake I made too was I ate way too much. And this goes along with just not knowing about nutrition. I didn't really understand nutrition and what I really did need until I started working with my coach, Jeff. And it's funny because I would look at like calculators online, like for macros even, all of them are really bad. Like I haven't found one that's really awesome. I'm not sure if 3DMJ actually has one. That would be interesting to look up, but I like have never found one, and so I really wasn't properly fueling myself until I started getting the knowledge and information from my coach. So if you're having struggles with your nutrition and setting up your macros, totally reach out to me too, because I'll help you with that and we'll get you set up. Because I remember I just ate way too much and I thought I needed more than I actually did. I would say too that if you are worried about what people think of you, if you're really just starting out and you don't know what you're doing, try the machines, because one, they have directions, we're right there, and two, if your gym is set up kind of like mine, it's in its own little thing. So it's not really near people and less risk of like being worried about what other people think if you're in your own little corner almost. And so I would start off there and just kind of work your way and see like, okay, maybe you're doing like rows, right? So you're on a chest supported machine, you're doing the rows, and then that kind of teaches you there's only so much range of motion you can do on one of those hammer strength rows. So maybe you go from that and then you go to a dumbbell row and you end up kind of having the same movement pattern, and because you know that from the previous machine you were using, it'll kind of get you set up to have that freedom with free weights. That might help you, and then maybe as you get more intermediate, you'll learn the barbell row and you'll progress that way. So I'd start off with machines if you really are having trouble with kind of getting movement patterns down. And obviously, like, if people can help you in person, that is so much better than just looking at little tutorials. But if you are visual, then sometimes that can just work as well. Also, don't do as much cardio as you think. Just don't. If anything, it's not gonna help with your progress. Starting out too, okay, so like when I didn't have my nutrition in place, I was still doing like 3 sessions of HIIT. Totally unnecessary because my diet wasn't in check. I was kind of burning calories doing that, and then my training kind of fell in the middle. So if I had just had my nutrition in place, didn't have the cardio, that would even out, and then my training probably would have gotten better. And looking back on it, like, it's funny because I just wanted to do everything, but if you have set guidelines and understand like how things affect the other, it makes it so much better to improve, and it really does put you in a better place to start making progress instead of kind of aimlessly going around the gym being like, all right, I'll try this, and never ending up doing the same thing over time consistently, because that is what really your body will just be like, okay, let's make gains. Can't confuse a muscle and do 30 different exercises and be like, okay, I'm done. And you also won't be able to recover well from that, especially if you're a really beginner. So I would definitely start with a few movements, machines if you want, and then take it from there. And I also want to say that I'm not saying machines are only for beginners. They're excellent if you're advanced too, like anyone, honestly, for the reason being that they are kind of on their own and away from people. If you do get worried about what other people think, then it might be a good option for you. For some reasons, I like machines because they take your low back out of certain movements. So say if you're a beginner and you're doing goblet squats as one of your lower body movements, that will probably get a little bit of your back just from standing straight up. Your posture is going to be excellent when you're doing it, and so you might be sore in your back a little bit. Or say if you're doing like an RDL, even lightweight, like you still might feel some soreness there. So if you can stick with certain machines that take your low back out of the movement, your recovery will probably end up being better, and you'll just feel better, especially at the beginning stages. You'll have what they say is DOMS, it's delayed onset muscle soreness, and so if your body is completely not used to a movement, it will get really sore because it's like, what is this? What is this stimulus? So I would recommend kind of doing single joint things too, just to avoid like major soreness. You just had to do it. Do not be cut and dry with your diet. I could explain this for like days on days. Being healthy and being fit and even being shredded, it does not equate to only clean food. There was a girl who literally ate a Snickers bar every day and she won her bikini competitions. When we are in our competition season and we're crazy and we need to be 100% on our macros, we still are creative with stuff because that's what keeps us sane. This is me personally speaking, but I know that if I'm not creative with my stuff, I'll go a little bonkers because I will want stuff that I can't have because it's just logically stupid. I'll make stuff that kind of fits my macros or things that taste like certain things. And when you're really low body fat, like egg whites with pizza sauce tastes like pizza. Anyways, as I was saying, if you're a beginner, do not think that you have to eat egg whites and broccoli for the rest of your life, and that's it. I would recommend finding certain meals that you do enjoy and that are clean, and then spice them up with different seasonings, sauces. Like, get super creative. This is how I am able to sustain my lifestyle. And a lot of people, too, like, are the opposite of me, and they need just cut and dry, especially on prep. I totally get it. Once again, like, you want to be very clean with your stuff, but like, to an extent, it's like, okay, come on, like, I'm so sick of this. I'd really recommend just getting creative with your stuff and finding recipes you enjoy, but also things that are easy too, because you have to be realistic about your lifestyle. And if you're not home all day and you're packing your lunch and you're on the go all the time, just prepare yourself. Especially if you're in a dieting phase, you want to have stuff on you because it'll keep you on track. When you're hangry, like everybody, it's just human nature to just want the most calorically dense things. So if you have like a bar on you or a prep meal, the options basically. I have like stevia bottles in my purse. Like, I just keep everything with me because I know that if I go to Dunkin' or Starbucks and I get coffee, like, I want my stevia in it. I don't want like gross Splenda. Anyways, I hope you I just spit. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm not sure what I'm gonna title it because I just rambled for like half an hour. But after I cut it, I will be sure to let you know what the topic's about.